Good morning, my fellow traders. Hope you all enjoying your weekend. And what a week it was. An amazing week, which is something I'm going to talk in a second. I'm recording this video when the market is still open because I need to attend a wedding function. And if I don't do it today, then I won't be able to make a weekend's update, which is a really important update for you guys. And I don't want you guys to miss this update. So I'm doing all the hard work for you, but I want you guys to become profitable. And when you guys make money, trust me, honestly, it feels really good that I'm able to provide value. Now, I don't talk much about my courses or my membership, and I don't just advertise on YouTube to buy the courses without showing you anything. But there are a few things I'm going to talk about today in this weekend's video. Lots of entries we had in this weekend's video. Now, some entries might look valid to you, which is actually not valid sometimes. That is why, guys, if you really want to learn something that can give you the actual knowledge of the market, full strategy, then this is the one-time plan you need to go for if you are really interested to become a full-time and professional trader. Of course, you're not going to get profitable just by doing this course next day. It takes some time, experience, and that is something I show you every weekend, the way we get these entries, and everything is been taught in this course. Nothing is out of that. So it's a one-time lifetime plan. You get full mentorship, and once you learn the full system, then you need to set your schedule. You need to act as a businessman that you are now a Forex or financial market trader. And that is something I'm going to give you a flavor how we can do that this week. But for that, you need to be qualified and get a right education. Now, I'm getting lots and lots of messages about my AI signal bot. Now, the reason it has been delayed because I have published my bot on my TradingView platform, and then due to some rules and regulation of TradingView, they have taken that down, and I need to fix that first, which I have done now. It's there, and I'm still waiting for the review to finish. Once they review my bot and it is finalized, hopefully by next week, then I will make it live. It's live now, but all you need to do, just make sure you select one of my partner broker, and as you can see, I have added all the details for you, which broker you need to set according to your own country. Remember, IC market, if you're from the UK, use the upper link, and if you're not from the UK, use the lower link. Now, right here, as you can see, I've added all the informations for you. Once you join that, I will give you an access to our AI bot, and I'm going to show you the trades that happened this week, and I'm also going to show you the results of AI bot when I release the video. The results are insane. So full video is there. I've already recorded that, but I still need to get an approval from TradingView, then I can release that. But in the meanwhile, just to avoid any further delays, if you have not signed up yet, make sure you signed up right here and deposit, and once it is done, I will give you an access. Now, this weekend's video is super important. I'm going to show you how I've taken my trades. I'm going to go through all the trades I've taken this week, including the indices, Nasdaq, including crypto trades. Some good crypto trades we had, and that was an amazing opportunities we had taken in the live session. And everything, you know my method, so it won't be alien for you, but I'm going to show you how and what I've looked at when I've entered those trades. So crypto trades, we had some nice badass trades this week. We had some nice Forex trades. What an amazing week. Talking about Forex, we had multiple entries this week. Out of that, 2 was sent to my members, 5 of them mentioned in the live session, and nothing is alien for you. When I show you the entries, I will tell you how and why I've taken those trades. And trust me, guys, if you watch this part, you will get lots of knowledge, and you can able to take good and efficient trading decisions. And that includes coffee, USCOCOA, Platinum, Natgas trade we have taken live, Nifty, the zone I mentioned there, and lots other Forex pair, and I'm going to show you how we can be a profitable trader just by following some rules and not being greedy all the time. I'm going to show you my personal trades setups, and that is all I've done, and that is something I do every weekend on Monday with my members to keep an eye on these pairs. And now, due to uncertainty in the world these days, as you can see, there are lots of bad things happening in the world. That is why don't hang on with your trades. It is very likely the price is going to hit you to take profit, or you are in a profit, and if you're not managing your trade due to some uncertainty, the price can dramatically go against you. That is why cut your profits, manage your trades, move your stop loss to break even, and make sure you are protected. Now I'm going to start with your favorite commodity, Natgas. Now, as you know, the market is still running. Now, that is a heartbreaker trade for me because that just hit my stop loss and then it hit my take profit. Now, that is totally fine. That is totally normal. Few of my members, they have not placed a stop loss and they have taken the profit. Now, it is going to be risky, and if you do it every time, trust me, the results will be bad. This time, if you have done that, you are saved, but don't do it again and again. Now, as you can see, I took an entry right here, I took an entry right here, and I took an entry right here. Now, this was an entry that happens below 50 and 20 EMA. Now, if you remember, I talk about pin bars, I talk about bearish engulfers, and the rule is simple. We are below 50 EMA and 20 EMA, and we had a nice 382 pin bar right here, right here. Now, if you ask me, Omar, would you enter any trade right here? Let's say if we have a pin bar, this candle, I would not. That is why the rules you learn is very important. That is why you want to become independent trader. Now, if this trade didn't play out, the trade alert was sent to the members. Unfortunately, that didn't play out. But this was also mentioned to my members, which plays out. Now, if you look here, right here, that could be a valid entry as well. And that would have hit you take profit. That is the power of education and learning a right skill. So, first, let me show you the clip from a live session where I've mentioned and a member asked me about this entry. Now, that is a good thing. I've not mentioned this entry, but the member asked me to check this entry, and that is how you learn the system. That is how I know that you guys are learning, and it is my strategy. Pin bar, but not just a pin bar. There is 5 to 6 rules for this strategy, and that is met, and then you have entered this trade. So let's see the clip from the live session. That's valid. Break below 1-2, yeah, that's valid. Use 180R or above. The next target is 180R above the wick. First target is 180R, that is 6. Second target is awesome. Now my AI bot also triggered this signal right here. As you can see, that also hit my take profit. Again, right here, that also hit my take profit. It is working really fine with Natgas, gold, and few other commodities. Again, I've already mentioned how to get access, and soon you guys gonna get access as well. So a good example of a winning trade here, and then we had a loser for me, if not for you, but that didn't hurt me. Why is that? Because I've taken the other multiple entries. Everything happens with rules. You heard me talking about pullback entry, right? Now, if you see here, that bearish engulfer didn't play out. That is totally fine. I'm not worried because we had a similar entry, which is USD CAD. Now, in the live session, I have mentioned about this entry. If you would have entered here, that would be take profit as well. Now, if you're not my Priority Plus member who don't attend my live session, then I've also sent you guys a trade alert, as you can see on the screen. In the members only live session, we had this entry. Now, sometimes this entry looks invalid, but here that is valid. That is why I said it is something I teach to my students with full rules. Now, that was a valid entry, but I've sent an entry according to this pattern, and as you can see how nicely that play out. If Natgas didn't play out for me, this played out. Now, very simple. Why I've taken this trade? Nice trending market. Why would I've gone long? Just by seeing the market is pushing lower, why would I buy? Because if the market is trending, you are only looking for pullbacks and ride along with the trend. As you can see, price broke below. We had a pullback. Price broke down. We had a pullback right here. Price broke down below the previous low. We had a pullback right here, and then price broke down below the previous low. We might get another entry, and then we might see a continuation. That is what we need to capture from the market. Very simple, and that is how I've taken this trade. Now, again, the reason I show you the Natgas entries because I know you guys love Natgas, but for that you need to learn the rules. Now, if you look here, this entry that we took a couple of weeks ago, that was on 3rd of June, actually last week, that was my valid pullback entry. Now, if let's say that didn't play out, would I be scared? No, because that is my tested strategy. I've been doing that from so many years. 4 years now I'm making videos on YouTube. So imagine I've been consistent with this strategy. If that doesn't play out, no need to get scared of. Now, looking at this pattern, we have taken one more trade in the priority group, which is what? Which is right here. Exact same entry. CADJPY that nicely hit my take profit as well. Not only that, when this trade was running live, I mentioned that entry in my live session. When there is a signal, I don't do ifs and buts. No sideways statements. It is entry or no entry, conditions or no condition. If there is condition, we are gonna go for it. So we had a trade couple of weeks ago, right here. Then we had a price broken above this high. Until then, I have not touched this pair because I want to see a break above. A next break happened, and then we had a pullback, a nice bullish engulfer, and that nicely hit my take profit. So let's see the clip from the live session where I've mentioned that trade, and that is a good thing about attending my live session, or if you're watching the recorded session, then you know what I'm looking at throughout the week. So this was an entry that happened on Monday. As you can see, 10 a.m. in the morning, this candle formed, and I was monitoring this candle. If you're my students, you don't even need for my signals. You're gonna go for it. You're gonna take your trades. So let's see the clip, and then we're gonna take it from there. That is a very good entry condition. I would have entered right here. Keep an eye here. That is your smaller target. If you want to go for the bigger target, that is 65 pips. Wait for the limit order. Perfect. So as you can see how nicely it plays out. Very simple. Trading above 50 EMA. In golfer, we're going to go for it. Now, if you ask me if that's a valid entry, no, that's not a valid entry. Sometime again, I say the entry looks valid exactly like this, not valid. Even though that pushed up, that is not valid. If you know how to identify a valid entry, then the chances of doing mistake will reduce dramatically, and you can able to capture good winning trades. So good example of that. And with that, I've also mentioned similar pair, which is CHFJPY. Now, if you capture these type of trades, tell me something. Will it hurt you if you occur 1 or 2 losses? No, it will not. That was 100 pips trade for me, but initial targets was 1-to-1, of course. For the beginners, I recommend 1-to-1. And the reason I've managed this trade till this high because of this level. Now, I was prepared for the pullback here, but the price did push up from here. That is totally fine for me. That was a fixed target to the next level of resistance. And as you can see, that is how you do your risk management. So that was a trade again mentioned in the live session. I want to show you that as well. Everything is recorded, transparent, so that you know and you understand that it is something in front of you. The market is giving you money right there. All you need to do, get a right education. So let's see the clip, and then I'm going to take it from there. On my platform, if I look here, that is a valid entry. On IC markets, that is a valid entry on my platform. So according to this entry, that is 40 pips. So 50 pips target. I would go for it if I want to take this trade to 50 pips. Perfect. So you see the power of taking right trades, how perfect this condition formed, and that nicely hit your take profit. Similar goes with Euro Japanese Yen. An entry clearly mentioned in the live session, CHFJPY, and that also hit my take profit. You see these entries been mentioned in the live session. When there are no entries, I just don't force myself to take an entry, and I don't even ask you guys to look for these entries. If I see an opportunity, I give you conditions. I prepare you guys to keep an eye on these pairs. Now it's your job to do your risk management, to do your trading. Don't overtrade. For me, that was a perfect conditions, and I've taken this trade. You see how nicely we have got a winning streak. We are a winning streak for now in priority group as well. But here, if I add these live session trades, then the results will be dramatic. Again, I always say it is not a signal group. For you to learn and take your trades on your own. Stop relying on signals. Stop paying for signals. Become independent. If you're determined, then it is not impossible. One of my students, the one who is in touch with me, he is consistently making money and profits and withdrawing profits from the markets. I'm really happy for him. Now, you see the similar entries, all the similar entries right here. My job is to tell you what is valid, what is not valid if you are not my student. For the students, they know it themselves, what is valid, what rules is not met. Now, I want to show you coffee here. Now, with these commodities, I'm also going to give you some tips, some zones. So it's going to be quick analysis on that in case you want to know what's going to happen with them as well. So some value here for you guys as well. So right here for coffee, what do we have? Exact same entries without ifs, without buts. As you can see, the price pushed up to this recent highs, which I normally do manage those trades, but right here it hit your take profit and quickly pushed down. That is why very important to cut your profit. If you would have managed your trades to these recent highs, that is 1.4 to 1 reward to risk ratio target. Now for the coffee, first let's see the clip from the live session, and then I'm going to tell you what to expect next from this commodity. Yeah, that looks good to me. That looks bullish. So you are in the MMTA course as well. So That is a valid pullback entry bullish. Looking at that, 6 is the ATR, 6.6 or 6. So that looks like this. Perfect. So you see the power of taking right trades. One of the students asked me questions about this entry, and the good thing is I was not looking at that and I have not taken this trade. But my student, if you are trading the other commodities, all you need to look for are valid entries. Valid condition happens here, pullback entry bullish, that nicely hits your take profit. Pullback entry bearish, that nicely hits your take profits. That is what we need to capture right here. So here I'm still expecting a price to come down to these numbers, as you can see in blue, from where we might get a double bottom and then another continuation. So a quick tip for you guys to keep an eye, but look for your bullish conditions like engulfers or pin bars. Same goes with USCOCOA. Now this is also something mentioned in the live session, and we are in this trade from last couple of weeks. So it was barely hit my stop loss, but then pushes back down. That is what we call patience and not getting panic. So let's see, it is still active, but if the price hit the take profit 1, I'll quickly put my stop loss to break even and then let it run to my take profit 2, which is right here. And to be on a safe side, let's keep it like this to these lows. So keep an eye here. Let's see how this goes. My target looks like this, and take your trades on your own risk, not my opinion. Just sharing my knowledge with you, shouldn't be taken as any sort of trading advice. So that is something I'm expecting. We are a bearish signal from this area and I'm expecting a push down. Now let's look at some crypto trades I've mentioned. Now we had a massive move. First, I want to show you XRP. What a move and what a big blast we have got right here. I don't care if that happens with fundamentals. I don't care if that happens with something big happened. I only care about my condition because I was already prepared for this condition. Once my condition forms, I go for it. Now, if you say, Omar, that happens with fundamentals, then I also have an excuse. If that would have hit my stop loss, I would say that's not my fault. It happens with fundamentals. So I'm not taking any credits for that. I'm only looking for my technical trades. So with my technical signal, as you can see, the recent strike happened and that pushed the crypto market lower, but that was my technical signal. That happened before this incident. We were prepared for that, and this is something I've clearly mentioned in the live session when this candle was not even there. We had a divergence coming there as well. So let's see the clip so that you can see the power of taking right entry. And we might see another push down. If the price forms engulfer here, means that is a sell signal and we have a divergence coming as well. So keep an eye on the next 4-hour candle. If that closes as a bearish engulfer, that is your sell signal and you can see a possible push down from here. So very important area. Perfect. So as you can see, how nicely it pushed down. Now let me ask you something. If you don't know how to mark these zones, would you able to even identify this entry? No, you would not. I was prepared by having this zone there, and I was only looking for my entry condition. My zone was there, my condition forms. What else is stopping me to take this trade? So a member asked me questions. I hope you have taken this trade and I hope you have made good money right here, and how nicely that pushed down. Now similar goes with SOLANA. A very good example of cutting your profits. Now if you wouldn't have taken your profits, it has eaten everything which you would have made. And right here till where I mentioned in my live session that I'm expecting a price to get to. And this is the only place I would have gone to. I wouldn't have gone till here because there is no reason. Here we have a reason that we had a previous structure. It might retest and then falls back down. That is all I was expecting. So first, let me show you the clip where I've mentioned we have broken above 50 EMA. We do have this pin bar as well. So that is a bullish signal for SOLANA. A pin bar just happened. Break above, break below. Yep, that is a valid bullish signal here. And looking at that, we can see a further continuation. That is a valid entry here. We can see a possible continuation and push up out of SOLANA. At least first here to 158.71, and then we can see a possible hit of this high from where we can see another pullback. So perfect. So you see how nicely we take an entry. Now the good and beautiful thing is there. That is not a valid engulfing candle. That is not a valid engulfing entry, I mean. And we have taken an entry according to the pin bar. And that plays out. Now for my pin bar entries, I have separate rules. For my engulfing entry, I have separate rules. To take an entry from in the consolidation market, I have separate rules. To take an entry from support and resistance, I have separate rules and I have separate stops and targets for all my strategies. My strategies are very simple, not complicated, but once you know the rules, that is something you can expect from the market. Now this week, and I would say this month, is so far the best month for me in regards with these trades. And I keep you guys showing you my trades. And if you remember 2 weeks ago, that was a bad week and I only had one trade, and fortunately that was a winning trade. A week before that I had a losing streak. That is something I've also shown you. If you don't trust me, watch my previous video. If you have time, see that how I share my experience. If I had a bad week, I still show you, but I stay consistent. I don't get angry. And these are the results you can expect if you stay consistent and don't blow up your accounts. Now there are 2 or 3 more trades I want to show you. Then I'm going to show you the AI bot results, and then we're going to get to Natgas analysis. Now this week, not many zones for indices commodities plays out, but we had these entries in between, and that is not stopping us to trade. But when the price reaches my zones for indices commodities, we're going to take the trades from there. Now we had a nice trade out of platinum, which is right here. Now for platinum, I'm going to give you a quick tip for that as well. Now right here, this was the zone mentioned in my live session that we can expect a possible fall from this zone. So let's see the clip so that you know that I don't say anything, I don't make up anything. It is everything that is transparent and that has been mentioned to my members. So the level above is right here. 1265.50 goes up to 1303.13. That's the next resistance. So keep an eye. Perfect. So as you can see how nicely that price pushed down, hitting my 180R and hitting more than 180R target as well. With the bigger target, it hit my take profit as well. So that is something we call taking counter trades. The previous trades I've shown you, that was pullback entry bearish, pullback entry bullish, and these are my counter trades. Now the price is inside a major structured level. As you can see, these numbers in blue. Now here we can still get another fall, but for that I want to see a bearish double top. This is not a valid bearish engulfer. I want to see either a bearish double top within this zone or another bearish engulfer at the upper level. A complete engulfer must engulf the previous candle with the wick for the strongest entry. I've taken this entry because of the pin bar or 382 candle. So I want to see a nice bearish engulfer for another fall down. Then we have Nasdaq, how nicely that fallen down from the zone, even though we haven't got any entry condition here. There is no entry condition for me, and we do have a nice minor head and shoulder pattern that pushed the price lower. That was a chart pattern, something I use for my discretionary style of trading, but it is something mentioned in the live session as well, and it will make videos so long. That is why I don't want to just mention every video. I'm sure you guys believe me that I've shown that in the live session, and with that I've also shown AUS200 index. This trade was also shown in my live session, and both nicely pushed down. Here we have a nice pin bar, 382 candle, entered few pips below, that nicely pushed down. So these are the trades that has taken nicely. We had UK100 as well, that was sent to my members, the report sent to the members, that also plays out nicely. It is in the major zone from where I'm expecting a fall out of. Nasdaq is also falling from the major zone. I'm still expecting a further fall out of. AUS200 also I'm expecting further fall if the price closes below 50 EMA. So this is a quick analysis on the AUS200 and Nasdaq as well. I'm only expecting bearish trades with pullbacks and keep on taking shots. Finally, for the Indian audience, we had Nifty that nicely played out from the zone that I've been mentioning from last couple of weeks. But for that, I want to show you the clip that I've actually mentioned about this trade. Nifty 50, as you can see, that's been a very long trade as we are waiting for the price to get to this zone. Nifty 50 has a zone above, which is 25,172 goes to 25,371. It is a zone from where you can expect some breather, means we can see some pullback and then a continuation. So perfect. So as you can see, I've said that we can expect some nice pullback, and as you can see, bearish candle right here, and that nicely pushed down, and from here we might see a double top and then a further fall from here. So I'm not buying it as long as we are not broken above these highs. So that is something we call knowing the right rules of marking these zones. I've not marked my zone here, but I've marked my zone right here from where the price nicely reacted. So let's wrap the first part and let me show you the AI bot results we had last week, and I also want to show you the live trades that was just triggered while I was recording this video so that you can check that on Sunday when you watch this video. So let me turn this bot on, and as you can see, since we are already here on this Nifty platform, that triggers a signal right here, entry here, take profit has been hit on 4 hour, and I want to show you Natgas, that is something I've already shown you. Right here, this signal was triggered in the live session as well, 9th of June. That nicely hit my take profit as well. Now this bot works with few good commodities that has good volume. If you trade with minor pairs, it might not work. So only look for the pairs or commodities that has good volume. So that plays out. If you look here, for gold, that triggers a signal for sell, that plays out as well. Here it triggers a signal for buy, that plays out for here, that plays out as well. And as you can see, I get alerts on my phone as well. So this alert was just triggered right here, 2 a.m. And if I click here, that was a signal just triggered and that signal is still active. So we'll see how it goes. The entry just happened right as you can see, this little dash and take profit is right here. Stop loss is right here. We'll see how this goes. That is a live running signal that just happened. As you can see, stop loss, take profit and entry in front of you. 12th of June, this signal was triggered for USD CADJPY. That also triggered right here. That hit my take profit. Now AUD USD, that did not hit my take profit. It hit a stop loss first and then pushed back down. But this signal take you in that direction where it detects the volume. It eventually pushed back down. But it is not something I was actively looking for. But just to show you, I don't look AUD USD for this spot. USD CADJPY, of course, I look for that because it has lots of volume. And then I want to show you, and I also avoid taking the trades when the big news happen. Because when these news happens and there is uncertainty, of course, the people are panicking, selling, they are panicking, buying. And in that case, this bot can trigger wrong signal because it detects a volume and then that is just a temporary move. So I don't recommend trading in big news events. On Solana, it just triggered a signal as you can see here that nicely pushed down. Solana has a good volume. On BTC, on Ovanda, that also triggers a signal as you can see just now when I'm recording this video, that also triggers take profit. Nothing for XRP. And I guess that's all. These are the major commodities we look for the trades. Feel free to test that on the other markets when you get access to the bot. So I've just shown you the live running trades, the trade that has happened last week, how nicely it has been performing. Of course, we can't rely on this bot alone. You need to have right education, because if you know the right set of rules, if you think the bot is giving a wrong signal and there is lots of time I've seen that signal, I've not taken that trade. I've just shown you a big winning streak that happened this week and I could able to take all the trades because I know my rules, because I know my system. If you learn the system, the long run, you need to know the full system. So let's wrap the first part of this video. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you have learned something out of it. How I take my trades, what I look in the market, trending trades, pullback trades, counter trades. That is how I take my trades. So let's wrap the session and let's jump on to the analysis part of Natgas, gold, silver, and crude oil. So let's look at the commodities starting with natural gas. Before I continue, I just want to show you the progress of our platinum zone, which I've just shown in the first part, and that time the market wasn't closed. Now at this point, the market has been closed. As you can see, we had 2 entries. That plays out nicely. If I look here on IC market on my platform, that was a valid engulfer, and this zone was sent to the members, and I've promised you that I'm going to give you a tip as well. But right here, prices just landed at the level of support, and keep an eye on this support. Now I'll be looking for my buy condition from this area, which is my double bottom or engulfer. Right here, a quick tip for you in my weekends video. And also, if you were in my live session, we have also mentioned this dollar index fall, and as you can see, it has came down after so many weeks, and that is something we call sticking with the rules. Right here, guys, if you are still trading and if you want to get an extra confidence, get my zones, it is worth getting priority group if you are an active trader. Starting with natural gas, what do we have right here? It is very simple at this point. Now, as you know, that there is a Middle East conflict happening these days, and that is why the market is going to be really volatile, especially gold and crude oil, which I'm going to get to in a very short while. But Natgas also reacted all the way from here. Now, this trend line that was mentioned in my previous video, that price is likely going to bounce up from this trend line. That has happened, as you can see on this platform, but it is moving up gradually. It is an upper channel that has been forming. Now it is very simple condition here what to look for your entries. Very simple and very easy, nothing hard. Now at this point, the first thing you need to look at is a weekly time frame, which is something we look for the bigger picture right here. We still has this bearish pattern that has been played out. We still have a chance the price will come back down to the green zone, which is right here. As you can see, this is the zone below. If you want to mark these on a chart, feel free to mark them on a chart. I'm going to send the up-to-date zones for commodities tomorrow, so keep an eye on your emails for members. So I have these zones ready on a chart. That is something I still want to mention. Now if you look here on daily, that is still an upper channel that price has just formed. All it needs a breakout. Now for now, that is an upper channel forming, and soon we might see a push up, push back down, and a breakout above or breakout below. Now that is something who is looking for a bigger picture. Now for your entries, now I'm just talking about discretion, then I'm going to go through the conditional entries. Discretion is something is that if the price pushes up to the upper trend line, forms a bearish signal like pin bars, in that case that we can go for the little scalp. If the price pushes down, form a pin bar, or engulfers a double bottom like this, or engulfers like this, you can go for the quick scalp from up and down. So that is something we are looking here according to the current situation of natural gas. Now, very important. In between, what you want to do. In between, either you're going to go on 1 hour time frame. As you can see, we have a big room, and for that, we want to see an engulfing candle. Now, that is also a kind of valid entry, and 1 ATR is my target. Now, for the next entry, look for a pullback and engulfer. That is something we can also look if you want to go for the little and quick scalp, talking about this type of range market. If you're someone who is a day trader, that is something you can also look for. Very simple. Pull back above 50 EMA and engulfing candle. If the price broke below 50 EMA, you can look for the opposite, pullback and bearish engulfer. That is something I'm talking about on 1 hour time frame. So that is something for the day traders. Now for me, for the traders like me who look for entries on 4 hour, I want to see a momentum above 50 EMA, and then a pullback and then engulfer. That is all I'm looking at. I'm going to go long using 1 to 2 ATR for the targets. And if I want to manage my trades, I will manage till this upper trend line. So that is very simple here, what to expect from natural gas. If you are looking for the entries, make sure you look for the conditions. Conditions are telling you what price is going to do next. And right here, a good example of the trade we have taken a couple of weeks ago. Pullback engulfer that nicely pushed up to the upper trend line. And that is a good amount of profit if you trade natural gas. So exactly same condition I want to see. More pullback, engulfer, and we're gonna go long. That is all we are looking at. Now for the bearish trade, we haven't got much room below because 50 EMA just lies at this lower trend line. Now for bearish entries, it will be good if you want to see a complete close of this trend line. Now it could be fake out something like this. That is why it is very important to look for complete close, solid close, 2 candle close if you want to see for complete bearish momentum. In that case, if we will align ourselves with a weekly head and shoulder bearish pattern, and price will likely to fall to the next level of green zone, which I've just shown you. So that is all we are looking at. If you are broken below, pullback, bearish engulfer, keep on taking shots with bearish engulfing patterns. That is all we are looking at. Or if you have a 382 candle or a pin bar below 50 EMA like this, that is something I also use for my entry. So very simple. We have some room above, some room right here. That is why I want to see some pullback engulfer to buy this market till here exit. If you have a strong momentum, let's say the price opens above in gap, which can happen because of the recent conflict. It can still happen. If that happens, in that case, we can only expect a pullback and continuation. And then in that case, we are only buying till the next level of resistance, which I've just shown you at the start of this analysis. So keep an eye. Very simple. Above 50 EMA, we are buying. Below 50 EMA, we are selling. And this is the room till where we can sell until we are trading in between this channel. So very simple here on capital.com. Exactly the same. That is a room we have. Break below, that we are going to go short till this level. Break above, we are only buying till this minor level, and then this is a major level which I've already shown you. And as you can see, these numbers in blue, minor level is right here. These numbers in blue, from where you can see some pullback and continuation. So very simple here. Look for these conditions gradually pushing up. We might see another pullback and then push up, and it keep on pushing up. This is a strong trend support that has been rejecting from 3 times already. That shows a bullish pressure as well, and that shows the price has a strong volume here, and it is not letting the price to close below. So overall, that trend looks good, and that trend is signaling that price is going to push towards the upside. Now again, for entries, you're going to look for your conditions. Exactly same on NEMEX. If you are looking and trading here, break below with a solid candle, itself an entry, close is itself an entry, but that's going to be aggressive entry. For confirmation, I want to see bearish engulfing pattern. Once we are broken above 50 EMA with a solid momentum, then we are looking for the pullback entry bullish till the next level right here, which I've already shown you. So keep an eye, don't rush in the trades, and look for your condition. Again, like I mentioned, we might see a hit of this area. If the price forms bullish engulfer, we have a minor double bottom, and that is also a signal which I use for my discretionary trading, and that can still push the price higher. If the price forms a pin bar, leaves the wick below, and forms a 382 candle, that is also one of my buy signal, and that can also push the market up at least to this recent highs. So very simple, look for these conditions for your entries. Gold has just hit the level of major resistance. So at this point, there is no condition. Now again, due to the recent conflict, I'm still expecting bullish moves out of gold, but from this resistance level, we can look for some breathers. means we can expect some pullback. Now if we have a pullback, price forms engulfer above 50 EMA, I'm gonna go long. For your sell trades, just look for bearish engulfers or double top on 1 hour. That is fine. You can look for the double top. As you can see, we already have a double top. So looking at that on 1 hour time frame, that's going to be risky entry because as you know the situation. But if you want to take a risk, I would keep my stop loss above this rejection zone and I'll go 1.221 or 1 to 1 first and 1.221 for my reward to risk ratio. Till here, I'm expecting a price to come down. From here, exit, look for your buy condition and go long. That is something we can expect from this major resistance. We have a divergence, so expecting some breather out of gold all the way from here till the level I've just mentioned. On 4 hour, if you're looking for entries, all we are looking at pullback, engulfer above 50 EMA or double top right from this zone to go short. So once you get a sell condition, we are selling, come out of the trade because it is likely going to push up again. If you don't cut your profits, it can likely eat up all your profits. So make sure pullback engulfer is something we want to see, but this pullback is enough to capture the profits. Once we have a bearish condition on 4 hour, we already have on 1 hour. That is something I'm expecting a little pullback, and with engulfer we are going to go long again and using 1 to 2 ATR for the target, pull the money out of the market and look for the next entry condition. Right on silver, I'm still waiting for the price to come to the zone above right here. 36.92 goes up to 37.72, from where I'll be looking to enter my sell trades with bearish engulfers or double top. That is all I'm looking at. I'm waiting till the price gets here to take my sell trade. Now we are still bullish overall, but no entry condition. But in general, I'm expecting a price to push up to this level, from where I'm looking for my sell conditions only. So wait till the price gets here and then look for your sell condition. I don't see any buy condition forming anytime here. That is why I'm not looking for buying trade, talking about on 4 hour. Only looking for sell trades from the zone above. Finally, we have crude oil. Now, right here, this was a zone that was clearly mentioned in my Discord group. So that's a screenshot from my Discord group. The night when the conflict started, we were just discussing in the Discord group what we can expect, what levels we are looking at. And as you can see right here, I've mentioned this level, that keep an eye on this level. Until the price is not close above this level, we are not completely bullish. As you can see, price rejected from this level, forms up in bar. Means that is a strong level here and it is still not close yet. Now, the major zone is right up there. Now that is not final. I'm going to redo the zone and send to the members and update you guys on my next video. But the next major zone is roughly right here, from where we are looking to sell this market. Now it is a likely chance the price opens above in gap. If that happens, then we are only buying this market. It can dramatically open above in gap. So be very careful to take your next entry. If open below, that is fine. We are still looking for buy condition above 50 EMA. But the zone is still active. As you can see, the rejection right here from the zone, which is right here. If the price forms a double top here, I'm going to go short term only, exit, look from a buy trade, buy here, keep on buying till the zone. Once broken above this high, then I'm going to start to buy till the next level. So that is very simple for my next move of crude oil. So for now, as we have this bearish engulfer and this pin bar, technically, just talking technically, not fundamentals. Again, crude oil runs heavily with fundamentals. That is why we have this big move. But technically, if we can see some sort of breather, a pullback, looking at the overbought correction is expected, then if the price forms engulfer, I'm going to go long from here. My next buy trade will happen above, once the price break above 73.13, from where I'm going to start to look for my next buy condition. Again, the price opens above already. I'm only going to buy with my pullback entry bullish till the next level of resistance. For now, expect a breather from here. After this breather, if we have a bullish engulfer, I'm going to buy again, exit right here. So that is all for today's video. Hope you got a value out of this long video, and I hope you have learned something out of that. If yes, hit a like button for me, subscribe if you're new, so that we can all trade together and trade efficiently. Hope you trade green. I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care.